So let's have a look at some permutations for Super Saturday, the final round of the Premiership. Who's going to make the top 4, those all-important semi-finals, and even more important, the top 2 get home semi-finals. The top 8, well, they get into the Champions Cup for next year. And of course, that is the top 8 as it stands right now, because Gloucester and Newcastle Falcons, they're out of it. Newcastle would potentially have a relegation playoff with the top team of the Championship, but the top team of the Championship, Ealing Trailfinders, they don't meet the requirements for the Premiership, so that's not going to happen. So Newcastle are safe. In fact, I think Doncaster are the only team that could potentially go up, and they're in 5th, so that's not going to happen. So Newcastle and Gloucester, they're fine, and the top 8 go through to the Champions Cup. At the moment, it's Northampton, Saracens, Bath and Sale, but that could definitely change. Here are the fixtures for Super Saturday. Of course, 4 points for a win, plus a bonus point for 4 or more tries, or for losing by 7 or less. 2 points for a draw. Just imagine if there's a draw, that could really put the cat amongst the pigeons. An important thing to note though is if teams are tied on points, it first goes to the total number of wins in the league. And if that's tied as well, then it goes to points differential. So that's definitely something that could come into play, and you're going to see that with these permutations. Just having a look at the final fixtures in general, Bath Northampton is a really tough call, as Northampton are probably the better all-round side, but Bath are at home, so that evens it out a bit. Bath, they just need 1 bonus point, 1 point, and if they do that, they're in the top 4, and if they miss out on the top 4, it's going to be very painful because they are so close, but not safe. Gloucester and Newcastle, for this video, they're irrelevant, so I'm not going to mention them or put them on the tables. Harlequins Bristol, wow, so much riding on this, both within a point of each other, and both could make it into the top 4, but it is worth noting if Sale win and Bath get at least 1 bonus point, then it doesn't matter what they do, Quins and Bristol are out. What gives them a bit of extra hope though is that Sale and Bath's last match is against the top 2 in the league, so they're going to be hoping it's going to be possible. If Sale lose and pick up a bonus point or 2, then it might go down to the number of wins or points difference. So I think this Harlequins Bristol one is one of the main matches. I'm really going to be watching it. And of course, keeping an eye on other matches, having probably multiple ones playing. Let me know how you're going to watch these matches and follow them. It's going to be pretty crazy. Leicester versus Exeter, and Leicester, they can't make the top 4. They can't drop out of Champions Cup qualification, so they've only got Pride to play for, but they'll definitely play for that at home at Welford Road. Last game of the season, I guarantee you they'd love to be the spoiler team for sure. Exeter, they do need results above them to go their way. It is win or bust for them. So they had a great round 17 at home, but can they do that same performance against Leicester away from home? Big challenge, but they're definitely going to be up for it. They're going to be very confident they can get that away win. Leicester have been solid but not spectacular. And Saracens versus Sale, assuming that Harlequins and Bristol don't draw, Sale simply have to win away to Saracens. Really hard, a huge match for them, and Saracens still do have plenty of motivation because they're really going to want to get that home semi-final, which is a really big advantage. So tough one for Sale. Saracens definitely favourites there. So let's go through some scenarios. I'm going to go through 6. I think that's plenty for this video. There's loads more. Put yours below. But scenario 1 are the most likely in my head to happen. These are the results in table points, not score points, if you like. I'm saying Bath 1, Northampton 5. Northampton win away to Bath. It is tough, but they're playing so well. I say they score 4 more tries, but Bath maybe keep it tight and get a bonus point. Harlequins Bristol, the 2 loosest sides in the league, so I think there's going to be loads of tries here. Hard to see both sides not getting 4 tries, but let's go for the home side to win most likely. 5-1. Leicester 0, Exeter 4. Leicester a tough nut to crack, but I think Exeter do have the superior team on recent form and they can do it. And I can see them doing it, but maybe not quite getting 4 tries. So 0-4 there. And the final one, I think it's likely that Saracens win. Maybe a bonus point, I don't know, but I'm going a little bit conservative here and going 4-0. Sale are going to be desperate for the win, but I think they might be outclassed, so a win for Saracens. So in my head, the most likely scenario is Northampton Saracens home semis, Bath and Exeter away semis, Quins Sale Bristol, they miss out completely. Now scenario 2 is a quick one, so it's the same results really, but Bath lose to Saints without a bonus point, so that's a definite possibility in my head. And the great news for Bath there is, though, even though they'll be on the same number of wins as Quins, they're currently 76 points better off points difference, so they would stay in the top 4. So the 2 most likely scenarios in my head are Northampton, Saracens, Exeter and Bath. So scenario 3, I'm going to tweak it a little bit. Keep the Northampton one the same because I really do fancy them at the moment. Harlequins, Bristol. Let's say Bristol win the Tri-Fest, so 1-5 to Bristol. Leicester, Exeter. Let's see Exeter have an absolute storming performance. A brilliant one like they did last week at home, 0-5. And Saracens get the win, but Sale keep it close or get 4 tries, so they pick up a bonus point. And look what happens. Nothing. Northampton, Saracens, Exeter, Bath still. So with even more tweaks there, it's still that top 4. So I think that is the big message of this video here to start with. Those are the red hot favourites to me, those 4. So into scenario 4, and for me there needs to be some upsets to really shake things up. So let's have Bath beat the top side Northampton. That would be an amazing result for Bath. It's possible. I don't think it's probable though, but let's say 4-1 to Bath. Harlequins, a real humdinger, loads of points flying around. They do win 5, but Bristol get 2 losing bonus points. Exeter still have their stormer, and Sale upset Saracens. They probably have to score 4 tries to do that anyway, so let's say 1-5. And let's look at the table, and wow, that really does make a difference. Sarries get replaced in their home semi-final spot by Bath. Sale are safe, despite a huge win at Leicester for Exeter. Their efforts are for nothing. It doesn't matter what happens in the crazy Quins-Bristol game, neither make it. So Northampton and Bath are home semi-finalists, and Sale and Saracens the away ones, with Exeter there missing out. Quins and Bristol, their game was to naught. Scenario 5, Bristol make it. What they're going to need first of all is Sale to lose, which I've said is probably more likely anyway. If Exeter lose as well to Leicester, that's better, but I think an Exeter win is likely, but if it does happen, it needs to be without a bonus point, and that should be okay because their points difference is slightly better at the moment by 26, but that could be overhauled as well. So let's have a look at that. Northampton 5, Bath 1, Bristol beat Harlequins, of course they'd have to do that. Exeter beat Leicester, but without a bonus point, and Saracens smash Sale. That would see Bristol there creeping into the top 4 above Exeter on points difference. In scenario 6, Harlequins make it. They also need any Exeter win not to be with a bonus point because they'll have won less games, so drawing on points in the table wouldn't be any good. So in this scenario, it's the same as 5, but with Harlequins winning big against Bristol, and they make it by a point over Exeter. So there we go. I think the most likely outcome is Northampton, Saracens, Exeter, Bath, but Quins, Sale and Bristol definitely have a way of getting in there as well. It's going to be amazing to see how these games ebb and flow. Get your calculators out. It could be a thriller. What do you think is going to happen? Comments and scenarios below, and I'll catch you next time.